connected to iPhone.
And divide the people along with.
Now look, they're gonna make some weird ass correlation, and I already know that. But I did watch the Truman Show. When it first came out like years ago. I'm a really big Jim Carrey fan. Ever since In Living Color, uh, with Fire Marshal Bill, like Jim Carrey just has been funny. Uh, Dumb and Dumber and uh, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and like I like Jim Carrey ever since I was a kid. So yeah, when the movie The Truman Show came out, yeah, I watched it. But then like I was a teenager roughly when that came out, and you can see like the message that was like deeply embedded in the Truman Show. And it was like yo, the media and your whole life can be fake, and you won't know it because you're born into it. You are born into this world, and reality is given to you in a way to guide and build your perception, which in turns makes you create your own reality and believe everything that is going on around you. And everything, it seems to be in order, and it seems uh, non chaotic and neat. And then at the end, you realize like this whole shit is a fucking lie. It's like everything is a lie. The whole thing is a lie. Everything I've ever thought my entire life. Everything is fake and everything is a lie to get me to think a certain way, to get me to see the world a certain way. Everything I have been taught is to falsify my reality. And that was the main concept for the Truman Show. And for Jim Carrey being the funny comedian actor that he is, and there was like some slapstick comedy in that movie. But the underlying message, and at the end, like he sailed to the edge of this sound studio. And he found this wall with some stairs, and he walked up these stairs, and he opened the exit door to this studio, which he thought was his real world, and he saw the real world for the first time, and it's like, what the fuck? And so now for some reason somebody is going to use this movie as a allegory, or take illusions from this movie and try to assert it to the flat earth theory. So this should be interesting, to say the least. The Truman Show, based on a true story, Under the Flat Earth Dome. So all these flat earther myths keep popping up and popping up, and they have all these facts and everything. But now you're going to use one of my favorite movies. I know they tried to use this other movie, Dark City. That was weird too. If you've ever watched that one film, Dark City. And I do think Hollywood puts subliminal information into our entertainment to desensitize us from what is factual. But that flat earth theory, yo, it is such a stretch. It is such a stretch. But let's go. Let's hear this guy.
Religion and politics. The educate. It's a brainwashing machine in place to teach slaves how to function with a shitty job in a society that's crumbling by design. The allopathic medical system harms people instead of healing them or teaching them how to heal. The food isn't real. The drinks aren't real. The movie, music, fashion, and adult film industries are all highly responsible for fueling this toxic environment that's constantly degrading around us. When one begins to see all this and awaken from a lifetime of deception, it's very much reminiscent of the character Truman of The Truman Show. Before The Matrix, there was The Truman Show. A 1998 film starring Jim Carrey, or JC, as Truman Burbank, the unwitting super...
The Truman Show is that old? 1998? Yeah, I was still in high school. I was in like 10th grade. So I was like 14 or 15? Like 14 or 15 years old when I saw the Truman Show. But like I say, even as a teenager, you just see like the message there is like, what the fuck? That shit it was a really weird movie, yo.
Superstar of the world's most popular television program that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, this
Burbank, the unwitting... Before The Matrix, there was The Truman Show. A 1998 film starring Jim Carrey, or JC, as Truman Burbank, the unwitting superstar of the world's most popular television program that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's called Hanging with Mr. Burbank. Okay, yeah, you got me. It's called The Truman Show. For nearly 30 years, Truman is completely unaware of the fact that his life is being broadcast live every minute of every day, with roughly 5,000 hidden cameras within the set. The set is a giant domed structure in Burbank, California, which is where Truman gets his last name. Inside the dome, there is an entire mock-up island town called Sea Haven. Truman was adopted by a corporation as a baby in order to televise his life and make the show possible. To help keep Truman from learning the truth, they kill off the character that plays his father in a boating accident while Truman is just a young boy. This makes him terrified of the water. Besides that, other fear-based propaganda is posted throughout the set, like this poster at the fake airline that says, "It could happen to you," and displays an airplane being struck by lightning. And another that reads, "Travelers beware. Have you bought enough travel insurance to protect against terrorists, disease, wild animals, street gangs?" In fact, all the press within the domed set works to keep Truman complacent. There is a scene where Truman is making a phone call to try and track down a woman that he believes moved to Fiji. Right when he does this, a co-worker pops up and reveals a fresh newspaper where the headline reads, "The best place on earth, Sea Haven, voted planet's top town," just before flashing a Masonic hand gesture. Signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor laws. A quote often attributed to Confucius, but whether he said it or not, it's absolutely true. Anyway, another example of keeping Truman under mind control is when Truman is a boy in school. He expresses that he wants to be an explorer, but his teacher completely shuts him down.
"I like to be an explorer, like the great Magellan."
Oh, you're too late. There's really nothing left to explore.
And when Truman expresses to his fake wife that he wants to see the world, she explains how it's not a good idea because they are tied down by finances.
We have mortgage payments, Truman. We have car payments. What, we're just going to walk away from our financial obligations?
Adventure.
I thought we were going to try for a baby.
So most of us have seen this movie. It's really good, and many people chop it up to being ahead of its time, basically because it foreshadowed reality TV and shows the ridiculous length some will go to exploit other humans for entertainment. Yeah, that's kind of a part of it, but pretty much everyone missed the bigger picture. This film is about you. It's about your life. You are Truman, the true man, or true woman, or simply change Truman Show to The Human Show. You have been closely monitored since the day you were born, and by now you have also been conditioned to be okay with that fact. You go through their schooling and you're taught only what they want you to know. With this amazing knowledge, you become a paycheck-earning member of the workforce and begin making make-believe money so you can feed it back into the system, creating a perpetual cycle where you are always enslaved by the debts you owe. It's a trap, and you can't get out of it. Meanwhile, you're being kept in the dark about where you live. Just like Truman, or the true man, lives underneath a dome, you too live underneath a dome, a much larger one compared to the movie. The dome you dwell in is a natural part of your cosmology, since as far back as we know, all the cultures of the world have embraced living within this dome. There are most likely several cultures that have been genocided and buried in time that we are unaware of that believed the same thing. Or knew, rather. These are just the ones we know about. The Sumerians' mythology says that a primeval sea existed before anything else and that the heaven and the earth were formed within it. The boundary between the primeval sea and the earth, a flat disk, was a solid vault, within which was a gas-like atmosphere. The stars, planets, sun, and moon were embedded in this solid vault. The Greek philosopher Anaximenes described the heavens as like a felt cap that turned on its head, with the stars fixed to the surface like nails. Flavius Josephus wrote about the earth being surrounded by a crystalline firmament.
Flavian Josephus wrote about fucking Jesus being real too, so you can't believe Flavian. These other cats, never really heard these other dudes before, but the Sumerians, even with their description of the heavens, they still have the Anunnaki story, and the Sumerians had depictions of the solar system. So there are some ancient cultures that did believe in a certain way. Even the Bible, when you read the biblical description of the earth, and it says the two pillars and the firmament, and it does kind of sound like a fucking dome, but like the Anunnaki story alone would prove that the Sumerians didn't believe that this was a flat disk, and that there were other heavenly bodies that these entities could travel to and from. So, like I said, these flat earthers they're sometimey with their stuff, and it's weird how they try to prove it. Like, it don't make any sense.
After this, on the second day, he placed the heaven over the whole world and separated it from the other parts, and he determined it should stand by itself. He also placed a crystalline firmament around it, and put it together in a manner agreeable to the earth, and fitted it for giving moisture and rain, and affording the advantage of dews. That's from the book Antiquities of the Jews. The people from all regions of earth knew what this place looked like and the nature of things within. It's not only the Bible that supports this information, but it certainly does. Genesis 1:6-8 says, "And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven." Job 37:18 says, "Can you, with him, spread out the skies, strong as a molten mirror?" Sounds like a solid structure to me. Amos 9:6, "The one who builds his upper chambers in the heavens and has founded his vaulted dome over the earth, he who calls for the waters of the sea and pours them out on the face of the earth, the Lord is his name, and has founded his vaulted dome over the earth." There's really no other way to interpret that. The Quran supports flat earth. Let's read a little passage here. "Who made the earth for you a carpet, and the sky a structure, and sent down from the sky water, then brought forth thereby some fruits as provision for you. So make not equals to God, and you know." 2:22 from the Quran. And on with the ancient writings and texts that you can still find. There have been things that have been deleted and erased from history.
Yeah, and on with ancient texts that say spheres and globes and heavenly bodies. And not all ancient texts describe the earth this way. People had many descriptions of what the earth looked like.
Everything up until the 1500s, when the Jesuits began pushing heliocentrism. This isn't just some primitive idiocy where the ancient...
Heliocentrism. Helio means heavenly, meaning star or sun, and centric, of course, meaning center. So heliocentric means the first time that they believe the sun was the center of the universe and everything revolved around the sun.
Were too stupid to figure out that the earth was a spinning ball. They had it down packed, and it was the truth then, and it's the truth now. It's the reason why NASA had to pretend like they lost the technology to supposedly go back to the moon.
I'd go to the moon.
That is funny though. And see, because this clip they're about to play, I've seen this and I watched it like a couple of times. Because the flat earth theory just seems so fucking far-fetched that it's not believable. But then you see NASA say certain things and do certain things that's like, NASA, you're lying about space travel. Why would you lie about space travel? And then you have to question everything else because the authorities of National Aeronautics and Space Administration or whatever, why are you lying about your abilities, your technology, your capabilities, your technology, your capabilities? Why are you, if you lie about that, now I have to question everything that you do, everything. I have to question if the fucking space station is real. I have to question if fucking satellites are real now. Because you lied about some other shit. So, and that's what you do with liars. Like, that's an individual person. If a motherfucker lie to you and you know it and you find out and you know it's a lie, you're gonna question everything this motherfucker says now. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I thought we were supposed to go hang out yesterday. Oh, see what had happened was I got a flat tire. Like, this nigga lied that last week about something. He probably lying again. You know what I'm saying? And then it just be the little lies that not make you trust a person on bigger issues. Like, if you gonna lie about having a flat tire or some dumb shit, what else you gonna lie about? Huh? And that's how I feel about NASA. Like, now listen what this dude is about to say. Listen real close what, and this is a NASA employee.
It's the reason why NASA had to pretend like they lost the technology to supposedly go back to the moon.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
And why they always say that they can't leave low Earth orbit.
Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go.
The kinds of technologies that we're testing out on Space Station are definitely helping us with our goals of going beyond low Earth orbit.
It's the reason that scientist Michio Kaku says things like this.
Usually in science, if we're off by a factor of 2 or a factor of 10, we call that horrible. We say something's wrong with the theory. We're off by a factor of 10. However, in cosmology, we're off by a factor of 10 to the 120. That is 1 with 120 zeros after it. This is the largest mismatch between theory and experiment in the history of science.
We can only go in low Earth orbit? Why? Why can't, I thought y'all motherfuckers just went to the moon and back. And then you learn about the Van Allen radiation belt. And then there is another NASA clip that says, oh, soon we'll have the technology to pass through this radiation belt. But you said Buzz Aldrin and the boys, and the Apollo guys, they done went through the belt, made it to the moon, came back. But you don't have the technology. You lost the technology. And then NASA says, oh, all the telemetry data, which is the mathematics and the equations for the thrust, the speed, the arc, the ascent, so that, you know, when you leave Earth at this point in time and pointed at this direction, you should land where you want to. And they said all that math is gone. They lost that. All the telemetry data. Somehow NASA did not, you know, keep that file. And the very original footage from the moon landing and other footage on the moon, they say was accidentally recorded over. Really, NASA? Wait, hold up. So yeah, you lost the what? The math. So y'all went through this whole painful process of building this fucking rocket propulsion system, lunar modules, and space suits. And y'all made this whole grand announcement about beating the Russians and everybody, and the United States being the first nation to put a man on the moon. And you lost the math? They got you there? Like, wait. That's like me graduating Victorian or whatever, and coming home and everybody be like, where's your degree at? Let me see it. And I'd be like, oh, I lost it. You did what? You just graduated. You just got that thing. Oh yeah, but see, what had happened was on the way here, I misplaced it and I don't know where it's at. I ain't really got no proof of it now. Well, didn't somebody record the graduation ceremony? You the first person in our family to graduate from college, weren't? Oh, see, what had happened was they did record the ceremony, but right after it was over, somebody recorded over it. It was a baby shower, and they recorded over the video of me doing what I was doing. Okay. So when somebody lie to you like that, now you gotta question everything. When an astronaut tell you, when the astronauts say they're in space, right? They're in space, but then one of them says, "Oh, we're really in America." Like, so which one is it? Are you in space or are you in America? Because America, well, everything is technically in space, but America is America, and the space station is the space station. So, why are you lying? Now, does that make me believe in the flat Earth theory or hypothesis? Not really. But does it make me not believe everything NASA say? Hell yeah, because there's something funny about space. There is something totally weird about space travel, space flight, that we don't really understand. And it may absolutely be way more difficult and complicated. And I don't know. It's weird. So if we never went to the moon, why lie about it? Why fake all this stuff for like 70 years, like 60, 70 years now? And keep up this perpetual lie that you have actually traveled that far from Earth, when now you have astronauts on the space station that say we can only go in low Earth orbit. You have NASA officials saying that, you know, we could go back to the moon. Apparently is shooting rockets up to the space station and shit.
Back to the domed set of the Goyam show. The Truman Show. One day, Truman is walking outside to go to work, and a stage light that serves as a fake star falls from the mini-dome that he lives in. Freemason Albert Pike wrote, "The blazing star in our lodges, we have already said, represents Sirius." So when you see this, Sirius. This, Sirius. And yeah, obviously it's very important esoterically. Do a search for metal balls fall from the sky, and what you find is very similar to what we see here in this scene from The Truman Show. Seems to be happening all over the place. Are these metal spheres actually fake stars in our night sky, or are they something else? I don't really know, but it's absolutely strange.
The sky is falling! The sky is falling! The sky is falling! Are you crazy?
Another thing worth researching is the NASA patent for an artificial sun. This is from the 50s or 60s. Pretty scary because it's probably already in use. I mean, is this whole world really that fake? It reminds me of that scene from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where Arthur and Slarta Bartfast are riding the lift and seeing how planets are created. Of course, I feel it necessary to mention that Earth is not a planet, because planets are actually a particular kind of star. But this movie holds the same deception that we are taught in schools, of course. The idea here is that what if everything is artificially made? Here's a guy painting the rocks. A guy filling up the ocean. Ridiculous sounding, yeah, and I don't want to believe that, but it makes things much more like The Truman Show if that is the case. Regardless if the sun is fake or not, or if there is a fake sun up there somewhere, we know that the sun is local, as depicted in the ancient cosmologies. It's here within the dome. You can trace the rays of the sun to its source to see that it's close. If it was 93 million miles away, you wouldn't be able to do this. And the moon is at a similar distance. It's not 238,000 miles away. 5 years ago, I would have thought someone that is saying these things that I am saying now would belong in an insane asylum. After years of research, it's become painfully obvious that this is all too real. Anyway, The Truman Show is very telling, and it's funny how the logo for The Truman Show has the NASA blue marble in it. Gives away the fact that the false spinning globe model is merely a prison for your mind. There's a deleted scene from The Truman Show that is of great interest for Flat Earth, and I'll roll it right now.
Personally, I think the unconquered south face is the only one worth scaling. It's a 20,000-foot sheer wall of ice, but that's never stopped me before. Risk? Of course I'm aware of the risks. Thank you for your concern.
Don't you find it strange that in this movie that already contains major in-your-face symbolism for Flat Earth, that they even considered doing a scene like that, talking about ice walls? In the most accepted Flat Earth model, Antarctica is not a continent like it is on the bottom of the false globe model, but it's a massive ring of ice that holds everything we know of within. These walls are nearly 200 feet high, and when you do your research, are more
It's not nonsense. It's a different view, and you gotta. That's why I like listening to everything, so that you can know what's bullshit and what's not bullshit. But that's the thing. Like he wants to mix facts with ancient theories, and that's basically all. That's everything. You know. I mean, if you honestly, if you've never been in space personally yourself, you don't know. You can say whatever. Well, we have video footage and we have... Yeah, we do. There's tons of... Yeah, there is. But have you been in space far enough away so you can see the Earth yourself personally? Then nobody really... You don't know. You just don't. You know? there's this animal that lives at the bottom of the ocean. Have you been there? Have you seen it? And that, I mean, that's kind of how you got to look at everything. You know, I've never personally seen the Earth from a great distance away. Do I think it's flat? No. But I think it is interesting how you can pull these facts. And it's just the same way that Jehovah's Witnesses and Christians use the Bible to try to convert people. They try to pull all these facts from the Bible and then leave everything else that makes their facts seem ludicrous, you know? And there's so many things and so many topics and theories and conspiracies, and it's just, I find it interesting to be on both sides of it. You know, you just to see and hear, like, why do you think this is true? Like, okay, flat Earth, why do you think that? And they try to explain to you why they see it that way. And there are certain things that do get you, like, and it does make you question certain things about our Earth. And this is one thing that I question a lot too, is the rays of the sun. And now when you think about it, how can you trace the rays of the sun through the clouds right back to a specific point? And we can all do it. And it's so pretty when the clouds are real thick and then it just gets that one little break in it and you can see the sun rays. But it's like, if the light source is millions of miles away, you wouldn't have direct rays of light that seem to trace to one point like that. That's not how light works. Light doesn't really work like that, you know. So you can make a cloud of smoke and then hold a flashlight. Yeah, you can see the rays, but the further you pull the light source away from what's obscuring the light diffuses, and you're not going to get those really striking bright bands of light coming through. And it is kind of weird, you know. And there are other, like, natural things that just don't seem right, and science try to explains by measuring and weighing things. And I don't know, it's just whatever you believe builds your reality, and this is some people's reality, and they live on a flat Earth that's covered by a dome that has our celestial bodies plastered to the dome, and that is a reality for them. I just want to see why you think that way. And so from time to time, like, and that was the, oh, everything's worth it. Everything's worth it, you know, for the simple fact that we're actually still here, and you're the only person who's making comments. It's worth that much. So, but this is the last conspiracy that I came across, and, like, I've been a conspiracy buff for years. Like, no, for years. Like, I study everything. Like, I get legit shit, you know. This is like the real deal. So I study everything. I like everything. Everything is interesting to me. And so, like, a couple years ago, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, like, I came across some shit, yo. Motherfuckers like, Earth is flat. Like, do what? Wait, hold up. I heard of the hollow Earth theory. Interesting. I've heard of the hollow moon theory. That is even more interesting. A flat Earth? Let me check this shit out. These motherfuckers talking about some flat earth. Oh man, this shit surrounded by a wall of ice. And Admiral Byrd. And that's something else too though. Admiral Byrd did say he went as far as he could, and there was just like a wall of ice that was like a mile high. And it was like, dude, there's no way to get over this giant wall of ice. And that's a... But once again, was I there with Admiral Byrd? Not really. But he did say like he saw it. He saw the edge. It's like, oh shit, this motherfucker almost fell off the planet. Like Admiral Byrd said, shit. He said he saw the hole in the top of the planet. That's what I don't understand, Admiral. Is this a sphere with a hole in it, or a disc with a wall of ice? He said he saw both of them.
Flat Earth, and I'll roll it right now.
Personally, I think the unconquered south face is the only one worth scaling. It's a 20,000-foot sheer wall of ice.
It's a 20,000
foot
sheer wall of ice. No, banking and war, those are synonymous with each other. Banking is war, and war is banking. God's flashlights. The sun would be a spotlight on a flat earth. Yeah. Yeah. But if you have a diffused spotlight, say if you put a filter over your camera lens, same thing. You know what I'm saying? You can diffuse the light and make it spread out and not be so harsh. And even if there is, if you're on stage and it's a single person and there's a very bright spotlight on them, but the spotlight is, just, dozens of feet above them in a completely dark room, that spotlight still illuminates an area around them. It's going to be centered on them, but you can still illuminate an area around them. Now, if you diffuse that light, the light source itself, it will fan out and not be as concentrated. I'm not trying to defend I understand your point you're making, but that's what I'm saying. You always have to think too, man, like, how could it work a different way? Keep your mind open, man. Keep your mind open. This is how you prepare for a debate, because you're gonna have to debate yourself to start with, to make sure you cover every point before and try to ask yourself every question that somebody else would ask you. You gotta debate yourself for hours and hours and hours on counterpoint after counterpoint before you go with your opponent, so you can already be ready for every counterpoint that they come across. Hey, like I say, I'm pretty sure we live on a globe. And some people say sphere, Tyson says it's more oblong and kind of squished in the middle. There's all kind of different descriptions of how the earth actually looks, but some people say it's not really just perfectly round. And that's cool, There's all kind of different descriptions of Earth.
Risk? Of course I'm aware of the risks. Thank you for your concern.
Don't you find it strange that in this movie that already contains major in-your-face symbolism for flat Earth, that they even considered doing a scene like that, talking about ice walls? In the most accepted flat Earth model, Antarctica is not a continent like it is on the bottom of the false globe model, but it's a massive ring of ice that holds everything we know of within. These walls are nearly 200 feet high, and when you do your research, are more plausible than you first think. Admiral Richard E. Byrd completed many missions to do with Antarctica. Some of the
Yeah. They said Admiral Byrd is one of the only people who said that shit, though.
them included names like Operation High Jump or Operation Deep Freeze. High Jump because the walls are huge and it would have been quite the task to get up there. Also, this reminds me of a Jacques Cousteau documentary called Voyage to the Edge of the World that's about going to Antarctica. Seriously, if you currently believe that you live on a tilted, wobbling, and spinning ball that's flying through outer space at over 500,000 miles per hour, then you gotta learn that this world is not what you think it is. Curvature cannot be measured, and motion has never been detected, despite what you might think or what you have been told. There are no experiments that prove curvature or motion. Before I get out of here, I want to bring these last few things to your attention. Another interesting part of this movie is the fact that the creator of The Truman Show is named Christoph. That's easily comparable to Christ when you look at his name and the way it's spelled.
Christoph is basically
Christ,
Christopher.
And one of the names of the network executives is Moses. At the end of the movie, Truman appears to be walking on water. And before he makes his exit out of the mini dome, he's
land
talking
down
to
under?
Christoph, whose voice sounds like it's coming from the sun.
Truman, you can speak. I can hear you.
Then Truman puts his body in the shape of a cross, and finally leaves. Heavily encoded film, extremely symbolic to the point where it's just mind-blowing. Like I said at the beginning of this video,
My shoulder is
you
killing me,
are
bro.
the true man, and you really are living in a much larger version of The Truman Show.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What's up, everybody? This is ODD. Real quick while I have you.
No, not real quick. That was enough. That was enough, ODD. You really did try to pull a correlation with, you know, with the Truman Show. I know it was. I already knew it was a heavily coded movie, but I didn't know it was all like flat earthy. Yo, I watched the Angry Joe review of Fallout 76. Oh my God, yo. Yo, he was pissed off about that shit. I had Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4. Fallout 76, I didn't want to buy that. It just didn't, I didn't buy that. So I had Battlefield 3, I had Battlefield, had Battlefield 1. I had Star Wars Battlefront. I played the demo for Battlefield 5. I was like, I don't think I want to get that game. And it's like my favorite franchises. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking like 50 years. In 50 years, there's a strong possibility. There is a strong possibility because we're basically overdue. World War I, which was the end of the empires, was in the early 1900s, 1912, 1914. You know what I'm saying? It was during the industrial age, and shit was changing, and the empires were falling, and nation states were rising, and control was shifting. So after World War One, you had the League of Nations. Then more industrialization, more economic strength, more control of power. Once again, more shifting of power, more division of these larger nation states into smaller subsidiaries, yo, and shit was like the world was fucking changing so fast, yo. So now you had World War II was in the 40s. Yo, that wasn't even like, that was just like a generation later, you know what I'm saying? And every generation has its war ever since World War II and Vietnam and the fucking all the other insurgents, and like I can remember like the Gulf War and Desert Storm, and it's like it's always some shit. But now once again, like we on a whole different game now, and we've always had these small wars, all these constant battles and shit going on. But yo, with this AI shit, yo, I think everything keeps coming back to this fucking artificial intelligence, yo. That shit is gonna pop something off, cause some people are scared of this shit, but nations aren't gonna stop their AI programs. You know what I'm saying? AI gonna be like the next fucking nukes and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think, you know, like they're gonna be like major invasions, but there's gonna be a fucking some kind of Cold War, some kind of worldwide digital like Cold War that's gonna reshape shit, yo. Cause America is losing power, and the only thing we really have is our military. So we gonna point fingers, and we gonna cause some shit to happen. Cause this conglomerate, this fucking corporation of America doesn't want to not be at top. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. They've been dominating since World War II, and it's been their game. You know what I'm saying? And the European bankers and the central bankers, back to what my man said, motherfucking banks and wars, yo. These bankers don't want to give up the control of the natural resources. Notice nobody ain't talking about money. It don't even matter. The money don't matter, because if you're a banker, you make the money. You make money. Money doesn't matter to bankers. So what they do is they got to control the wars and the hunger, and so they can maintain control over the resources, which is the true power. You know what I'm saying? Whoever has resources, the richest land for farming and good topsoil, the cleanest water, so you can have a healthy existence and be strong and pass your genes on and have strong genes. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Who control the resources? And so there's always going to be these wars, but now it's at such a pivotal point where the economy and the control of resources is shifting so fast that somebody gonna make a move. And so, is it possible? I believe so. And I know that was a long ass roundabout response, but is World War III possible in my lifetime? I'm 37. It is highly possible, bruh. It may not be like what we would think. Like, it may not look like Germany, World War II. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is super conscious of these fucking nukes. And there's way too many of them. And we're like back to the fucking Stone Age. Except for those who got their bunkers ready. And that's the 1% of the 1%. You know what I'm saying? And they know that. Will they be able to rebuild? Yeah, but it'll take fucking centuries. It'll take centuries. And a lot of shit will get lost. But if it came down to that, with these motherfuckers, they psychopaths, bruh. That's why they prepared. That's why they got fucking seed banks with pure, unmodified seeds of every fruit, vegetable, plant. They got fucking DNA samples of every fucking animal. They prepared to do it. They got shelters deep in the fucking earth. They don't have to come out for 100 years, 200 years. Some real fallout shit. And they'll do it. If it come down, they'll do it. But I think World War III is gonna look different. It may be something real different, yo. Yo, Trippy Land. That's what I'm saying, bruh. You don't think they if you know that, you know it. The radiation will be in. Okay, you know that. They prepared for that. I say they'll bury themselves for hundreds of years, man. Won't work. They'll try. They'll try. Space Force. Yeah, this motherfucker can't get clean water to Flint, Michigan, but he want to build a wall and talk about Space Force. Look, bro, can we get some clean water to the kids? These kids getting lead poison. You know what I'm saying? They got eczema going on because they can't even wash. Huh? Space Wars? What? Jesus. Bruh, our world is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Shit is fucked up. You think America keep losing power like they is, man? Nobody don't respect America no more. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers been reading the back of all they shit for the longest. Taiwan. China. Engineered in the U.S., made in Mexico. Yo, where's something else, man? Come on. Wait a minute. Alright. This comes from Wisconsin. That's in America. But, bro, electronics. You can get paper from here. Come on. Wait. Thailand. Come on, bro. What America got? Come on, man. America ain't got shit, bro. Nothing. Not none of this shit, man. I seen this one shit on YouTube, bro. They got it's like a farmer's market, but like the Asian style. You know how Asians they shit be crap. You got bins of all kind of spices and foods you ain't never seen in your life. But imagine a farmer's market like that, but cell phone parts. Bro, they say you can just walk through this place and put a cell phone together, bro. Let me get that screen. Okay, this fits here. Let me get this chip for phone reception. Let me get this graphics card. Let me get this piece. This right here. I want that camera. And put your own, no brand, no nothing. And call it, yo, what's up? What kind of phone you got? Oh, I got I made this phone. Like, yo, you can't fuck with them Asians, bruh. That shit crazy. And they calling this shit the Asian century. And they about to make their own gas money. These motherfuckers about to rebuild the Silk Road. Bruh. It's over. It's over for America. But they gonna have to try to do something. Once they really start slipping on that oil shit. That's why you think we been in the Middle East so hard? Banging on these brown motherfuckers for no reason, apparently. Oh, 9/11. Bitch, y'all still lying about that? That shit was 17 years ago, and yet, Assad was using chemical weapons. Get the fuck out of here. Muammar Gaddafi, oh my God. And it's like, they're fucked up. It's fucked up, yo. So World War III? Maybe. Maybe. You never know. You never know. Alright, so this is done. $25 million years for half-life. So that means nothing won't grow for that long. Once again, like I say, man, fallout. And they prepared for that shit. Word up. You don't think these motherfuckers are goddamn... Look, these motherfuckers say they will alter their genetics and their DNA so they can survive on different planets. Well, how you gonna live on Mars? We'll make our bodies compatible with living on Mars. Man, these motherfuckers will find a way to get strong off of radiation, be some old mutant type shit for real. All you gotta do is take the isotope and implement a certain amount of that, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, yo, they'll find a way. I'm telling you, bro. Don't ever put it past it, bro. Now they'll be walking around once again in some fucking radiation suits and some crazy ass shit. Nonsense. Man, they had the Martian on Mars growing potatoes out of Martian dirt and shit. Motherfuckers will science the fuck out of something. Just cause we can't think of fucking ideas. Hey, I don't put shit past the human mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't put shit past human ideas. Just cause I can't think of a motherfucking way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody sitting, they contemplating this shit right now. As we speak, we contemplating this shit. So don't think like there's not greater minds on this same fucking problem. Nonsense. What if we nuke the fucking planet? How we'll survive that shit, yo? You know what I'm saying? They gotta be some kind of contingency plan for that shit. If Russia really pop off and launch a nuke, what we gonna shoot they nuke down in the sky for? Cause we got laser beams now. And so what if one of them two actually get past the laser beam system? Well, we'll nuke their ass. Well then, what if North Korea launched their secret nukes that they got? You know what I'm saying? And then like nobody likes America, so that's why America's scared. That's why America don't want nobody else to have nukes. Oh, he was refining uranium. Like, get the fuck out of here. Why you ain't want them to have it, but you got it? Huh? That's a monopoly on violence. You want everybody to stop their motherfucking nuclear programs. But Russia got more nukes than we got. And that's what I'm saying. Nobody don't really want to pop off. That's what I don't understand. Like, once again, The European mind is so fucking weird, yo. The brilliance and the genius that some of these scientists have been able to conceptualize and bring into being, and you use that shit to make a death weapon. It's like, yo, let's see how we can kill people with this. And it's like, really, white people? Really? Like, that's what you want to do with that? And it's just evil. I don't see nothing else but evil in that shit, yo. And it's like, and it has us here talking about this. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't care. And, all right, I ain't gonna take it a race too bad, but it is the weirdest shit. Like, all these German and French and European scientists come up with this shit. It's like, it's such a great, massive energy. Like, look at this fucking atomic energy, nuclear fission. Like, how fucking cool is that? How fucking smart were these guys? Like, yo, we can fucking split an atom. It's like, oh snap, what are we gonna do with it? Can we harness this energy and try to, like, give free energy to everybody? Like, nah, let's make a bomb out of that shit, yo. It's dropping on your pan. Oh man. And now everybody is fucking so fearful of these shits. Well, I mean, that Fukushima shit, you think that shit is done? And that's like 4 or 5 years ago. That shit still is polluting shit. It's already, I mean, this shit is already contaminated and getting worse and worse. This radiation is everywhere, bro. But like you say, with some nuclear shit, bro, like, what, the Hadron particle accelerator collider shit, man? Fuck that shit. They say that shit is on some other, like, super weird type shit, man. With the Higgs boson. I don't trust these dudes at all. Where did that? Oh, there it goes. Angry Joe. Oh, yeah. You ain't got you a Geiger counter? Man, this is called a bug out bag, man. Get you a Geiger counter. Some goddamn, some iodine tablets. You know what I'm saying? Some motherfucking...
Interested in machine learning?
No, I'm not. What time is it, guys? I just haven't streamed for such a long time. I've been so busy doing other stuff, guys. But I went to bed early and I woke up early and I couldn't sleep. So I figured I would come in the studio for a little while. There was only very little for me to do on this piece right here. I was just waiting to white those letters out right there. And it looks nice.
So instead, I'm going to celebrate with you.
So this is Angry Joe's Battlefield 5 review. I don't know if you guys know who Angry Joe is, but he's just a game reviewer. This has this little weird spot on there. I don't know what that is. Did I waste something on there? But it seems like it's dry. I'm hoping that when I put the varnish on it and it gets the sheen, maybe it'll even out. If not, I may have to repaint that one section. I'm not too comfortable with that part. Really? See, I just learned something. So this is a commission. This gentleman actually is the client who had me do this piece for him, but he is also an artist, and he actually knew Prodigy from Mobb Deep, and so he painted a picture of Prodigy, as you can see, and gave it to Prodigy, and so after Prodigy passed away, he found this picture that somebody took of them, and he asked me to paint it, which was like super dope that an artist who already is a pretty good painter asked me to paint a picture of him, his homie, and his painting. So I painted his painting in a painting, and so I painted Prodigy twice in one painting. So this is like a whole little cool thing for me right here. This is a paid commission, but it's just a cool ass project and a cool concept in itself. I always like doing paintings within paintings, and sometimes I incorporate other artists, unknown artists to me, their graffiti work. So I like that urban decay scenery. So if you look through my art, you'll see graffiti in the background sometimes, and more often than not, it's actually shot on location. And graffiti is art. You know what I'm saying? There's no other way about it. Like, graffiti is like some dope ass art. And so I incorporate other artists' art into my art when I do that. But I don't normally get to do it on this level where it's actually like a full-blown painting, and I'm just painting someone else's painting in my painting. And so I've done it a few other times where there's this other artist, Fahamu Peku, and I went to one of his gallery shows in New York, and me and him took a picture in front of one of his paintings. And so I have this picture of me and Fahamu standing in front of his painting, and then I painted that. And so I got to paint his painting in me, in him, and the painting, once again, was a self-portrait of him. So it's two paintings of Fahamu Peku and one painting with me, and it's like this whole, it's just a dope ass scene. I like doing it, So when he asked me to do this was like fucking exciting, I just tried it. Nah, that's a lie. I've been an artist my whole life, bro. But I had a good art teacher in middle school and high school, and so she taught me a lot. And it's weird, I had the same art teacher. Like, when I was in middle school, I had this one art teacher, right? And so I went to like a private high school, and it just so happened that she applied for the art teaching job at my high school the same year I was going to 9th grade. So when I got to high school, it was the same teacher, and I was like, oh shit. So yeah, I had the same art teacher for a long time, and she just taught me a lot of stuff throughout middle school and high school. And but I dropped out of high school, and after that I didn't do shit for a long time. And then one day I just got bored, and I was like, you know what, let me try to paint. And so I started painting, and that was about 10 years ago. And I've been painting almost every day for the past 10 years. Actually, there's some spurts where I have other stuff to do, but so right now we're like, what's the day? Thursday. So yeah, tomorrow is First Friday. So at the gallery, Alpha Gallery in Scranton, I have 3 paintings that will be on display for the members show And also tomorrow morning at 4:30, I have a news interview. So I have to take some art down to the studio for my news interview about my art. This is going to be pretty cool. And then on the 9th, I'll have some art displayed at another gallery, New Wave Studio gallery for a Kwanzaa festival. So that should be interesting. And then next year I got some other gallery shows already scheduled. So, and I just applied for this art grant for $12,000. So probably won't get it, but I'm still gonna submit everything. I have everything together right now, and I will be submitting it hopefully this weekend because the deadline is the 15th. So I only got like 10 days or 9 days now. But I had to wait and you had to have letters from professional career artists. It's weird, like how they make, like, it's just hard. They're gonna give you $12,000. They're gonna make sure you're fucking legit, and that's basically it. Like, dude, you gotta have all your shit together for this fucking grant, and it's cool because I'm totally legit. Oh yeah. I don't know how much more legit you need somebody to be. But oh, are you trying to be a career artist? Oh yes, I am. Yes. Are you gonna use these funds to further your art career? Oh, I most definitely will. Cause I'm about as legit as they come, bruh. Cause I don't stop this thing, bruh. I do this. I do this. This is what I do. Let me get that 12 grand. I'm probably put together like like some workshop for the kids or some shit. I really want to get like high school students, yo, or at least middle school students. I like younger kids, but I want kids who already know they like art. If you know you like it, see, all little kids like art, but they don't know if they're gonna really stick with it. Cause sooner or later they're gonna start playing sports and other stuff like that. But I want them kids who already know they like art and just push them that extra and give them that little extra guidance and tutelage and that extra critique with their art and stuff like that, and let them know, like, yo, do you like visual arts is dope. Is it hard to make a career in visual arts? Yeah, but you can still incorporate this, and it's the digital age, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can build up a good portfolio and build up some digital skills on top of that too. Because I was even thinking about, like, well, not thinking about, I'm gonna get some graphic design programs and stuff, yo. I just had an interview on Monday for a outreach program for youth workshops where it's more or less like a mentoringship, but I would be in a art instructor capacity. So once again, dude, I'm a high school dropout. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any real degrees or anything like that. So, and I'm self-taught for the most part. So there's a lot of things I'm thinking about doing while I still have time, and going back to school and getting some type of teaching degree or teaching certification or something like that, so I can actually teach in a larger capacity would be awesome. I applied for a job a few months ago at the Boys and Girls Club. They were looking for basically the same thing, an activities/art director, which would be more, just like I said, working with like more preteens and more developed art situations. There is another organization, Northeastern Pennsylvania Academy for the Arts, and I applied with those guys for the same thing as an art director. So yeah, I've actually thought about teaching a lot for a long time, and I've given classes. I advertised strongly for art lessons for a couple years. Um, you know, for $25 lessons for 2 hours, and I always just recommended 5 lessons. So for $125, you get 10 hours of, one-on-one lessons directly from me. And it was like, I don't know if people just thought I was like shady or I didn't trust me, or I don't know, but I really couldn't pick up students. So I only had like 3 or 4 people who I ever gave lessons to, and they obviously learned a lot, and they were, appreciative of it. But I could never get like a whole classroom of like 12 people at one time that wanted to take lessons from me. Like, I just couldn't find enough people to do it. So I don't know. I started looking for different things like this, anywhere I can be an art instructor without actually having to have a art degree or, experience teaching in a standard classroom setting or something like that. Yeah, but like I said, I'm already reaching out to all those type places. And it's like, I would even volunteer for the most part, you know? I can't even find a volunteering job. You know something wrong. Alright. Oh, we were gonna let me listen to some of this Angry Joe real quick about Battlefield 5. Like I say, I pre-ordered Battlefield 5, and just to get the demo, and that's how they get you. You gotta pre-order the game so you can have access to the open beta. And so I played the open beta, and I really played it. Like, I really played it for like hours. And it was like, it's Battlefield 1. Like, what did you change? It's Battlefield 1. So I took my pre-order money and got Red Dead Redemption 2 instead. And so let me see what Angry Joe says about Battlefield 5 angry review.
Guys, by giving you an angry review right now today, I didn't know if I was going to do this one, so it's kind of a bonus angry review. Worked really hard over the past few days to get this one done, so it's our raw, angry opinions on Battlefield 5 when it came out. Some of the issues might be patched by now, but remember, we got to review these things at release. So I hope you guys enjoy the new video. Thank you for supporting our show so much. Everybody here thanks you. And keep supporting our show. Hit the like button, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. There's new merch in the link below. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, we hope you enjoy the review. And there's going to be many more coming, okay? Check it out, okay? No more happy stuff. Angry face. Because this is not a happy review. This is an angry review. Angry. EA. No. Battlefield. What happened? What's going on? Enjoy the review, guys.
Yeah, Battlefield, what's going on, man?
Nobody cares about Battlefield. I said it. And it breaks my heart to say
Yo,
this.
it does,
Nobody
yo. It's like
cares about Battlefield, including DICE, including EA, and including the player base.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, nobody I know is really playing it still. I don't hear anybody talking about it.
It's out, and it has like 2,000 viewers on Twitch.
Like, nobody's watching or playing it.
It takes us 3 minutes to get into games.
Sales are super low. Yep.
Sales are something like 50%, 80% down or something from Battlefield 1.
Yep. And it just, I don't know.
What the hell happened?
Feels like it didn't go anywhere.
And we've played it, and what sucks is I'm already sick of the maps, Joe. How did that happen so quick?
Because they removed everything. They're taking out less content.
I got tired of it so quick.
Right.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that the two worst maps? Well, I don't know if the one of them is worse. There's Fjord or something, or no,
Yeah.
not that one.
Narvik.
Narvik. I'm tired of playing on it. So you release 8 maps, but really it only feels like 6 maps, and really it only feels like 3 fucking maps because the maps don't go in fucking rotation enough. And you know, all servers are set to do all map rotations, but somehow you barely even play on the ones that you want to play.
Yep.
Fix the goddamn shuffle.
The fucking filter settings are fucking broken. Why is Battlefield like this? Why does it feel like there's so little content? Look, guys, whole parts of this game are completely fucking missing. I'm going into an angry rant.
Yep.
There's 4 fucking stories, and one of them isn't even available. At release, you're saying 1/4 of your story, 25% of your game is not playable yet.
what?
What happened in the development cycle? Not only that, there's no practice range.
There's no Tides of War.
That is outrageous. How do you not have fucking practice range?
Coming
December
soon.
4th.
Coming soon. It's all coming soon.
By that time, nobody fucking cares, like you said.
Nobody cares. And then Tides of War, this is supposed to be brand new, live service with really exciting things, isn't even in the game at release. So nobody fucking cares. Nobody's playing the game. Presumably, hopefully they'll come back for that, but I doubt it.
They even left out things like vehicle paint jobs and stuff. They were like, that's coming soon. You don't get that yet.
You cannot customize your tanks at launch, even though there's a button to customize. Instead, it says coming soon. What the fuck happened, DICE? What happened, EA? What happened to our Battlefield? And this is all completely besides the whole social justice and women thing. None of that even fucking matters in the game. All that amounts to is in the menu, you're all like, it's like a skin-headed chick in German uniform. And so you look at it for half a second like, that looks weird. But it doesn't matter because you switched back to the male character. The only thing is on the Battlefield every once in a while you hear, but you hear that from guys. Like I think even more hilarious than the female screams are the male German screams.
When they panic, yeah.
You got the screams right. 10 out of 10.
Like when you get wounded and you go down on the ground and your guy's just sitting there going, ah!
What happened to Battlefield? So you're playing on 8 maps, 6 maps, more like 3 maps, and I really like what is it, Rotterdam? The airfield one. Aerodome. I'm sorry, not Rotterdam. Aerodrome. I don't like Rotterdam. That's the one that I'm like.
The city, yeah. That was in the beta.
Yeah, tired of that one. And you never fucking get the airfield one. Grand Operations, which was a standout moment in Battlefield 1, is somehow worse. It's not as cool as Operations in Battlefield 1. How did it get worse? You play the first one, then you play the second one, and then you still play the third one, even though, let's say the enemy team wins the first 2. You still play the third for no fucking reason. It doesn't feel like an operation. It just feels like a strung together
Take my ass
few
back to sleep.
different maps
Jesus.
and modes. It's not what it used to be. I wanted an evolution